Imagine paying a debt in full, watching the money leave your account, putting the whole thing behind you, only to receive another letter months later saying you still owe us. You know you paid. You remember making the payment very, very well. But then you are asked one simple question. Can you prove it? No receipt, no confirmation email, no screenshot, no bank reference, nothing. Suddenly the conversation isn't about whether you paid. It's about whether you can prove you paid. And that's where some people discover a lesson that costs far more than money. And today, I want to show you why documentation is one of the most overlooked financial habits you can develop, and why it could save you from an incredibly stressful dispute one day. Most disputes don't begin because someone is dishonest. They begin because two people remember the same event differently. Memories fade, phones get replaced, email accounts can disappear, years pass by. Then suddenly, you are trying to remember something that happened 3, 5, or even 7 years ago. And when memory meets paperwork, paperwork usually wins. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Novah. I've spent over 15 years inside the banking industry as a credit risk professional. And on this channel, I talk about debt topics from a risk perspective. And my intention is just to replace fear with facts on consumer debt topics so we can all win with our debts. If these are topics that interest you, consider subscribing and like each and every video that makes a difference to you. I'd also love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment. Everything I share on this channel is purely for general financial education and is not meant for personal financial advice. There's one thing I want to come back to later on in this video because I think it's the biggest misconception people have about proof of payment. It's probably not what you are expecting, so stay with me, we'll go there. Most people assume that once money leaves their account, the job is finished. Most of the time, they're right. But occasionally, something goes wrong. A payment reference number is entered incorrectly. Money is transferred to the wrong account. A payment can't be matched to the correct customer. An administrative mistake occurs. Or years later, nobody can easily locate the original records. It's important to say something here. This doesn't automatically mean you'll have to pay again. Businesses also have responsibilities to investigate disputes and maintain appropriate records. But if you have your own documentation, resolving the issue is usually much easier. Think of it like insurance. You hope you never need it, but you're very glad you have it when something unexpected happens. And this isn't only about banks. It happens in everyday life. Someone repays money borrowed from a family member. Someone pays a trainee in cash. Someone settles an old debt. Someone transfers money using the wrong reference. Someone pays school fees. Someone pays rent. Everything seems fine. Until months or years later, one person says, I paid it. The other person says, I never received it. Now it's memory against documentation. And that's a very difficult place to be in, honestly. Ironically, the people we trust the most are often the people we keep the fewest records with. You've probably had conversations like this. I'll just transfer it later. I'll give you cash next weekend. Don't worry about writing anything down. At the time, it feels completely normal. Then life moves on. Years later, nobody remembers the exact amount, or the date, or whether the final repayment was actually made. That doesn't mean that anyone is lying. It simply means memory isn't perfect. Sometimes the easiest way to protect a relationship is to keep a record. A bank transfer, a simple text saying thanks for today's repayment, an email, even a simple written acknowledgement. Documentation doesn't replace trust. It protects trust. And this is usually the point where people think this video is simply about keeping receipts. No, it isn't. Remember earlier when I said there was one misconception I wanted to come back to? This is it now. The biggest protection isn't the receipt itself. It's creating evidence, and evidence comes in many different forms. People often ask, so what actually counts as proof? The strongest evidence usually includes several details together. For example, a bank transfer, a bank transaction record, a payment confirmation, a receipt, an email confirming payment, a settlement letter, a screenshot showing the transaction. The important part isn't the format, it's the information. Ideally, your record should show who paid, who received the money, how much was paid, when was it paid, and where possible, what the payment was for. Those details can make resolving a question much faster if one ever arises. Let's now look at some of the 5 habits that can save you hours. Over the years, I've developed a few simple habits that take almost no time. First, save confirmation emails. Don't delete them immediately. Second, take screenshots of important online payments, especially settlement payments. And third, download statements for significant transactions. Don't assume they'll always be easy to access years later. And fourth, if a debt has been paid in full, keep any letter or email confirming the account has been settled. That document can become extremely valuable. And finally, keep everything together, whether that's cloud storage, a secure folder on your computer, or an organized email folder. The system doesn't matter. Having one does. What to do if you're asked about an old debt? If someone contacts you about a debt you genuinely believe you've already paid, just don't panic. Don't ignore it either. Ask for details about the account. Gather whatever records you still have, whether it's bank statements, emails, letters, screenshots, payment confirmations. If you're unsure about your position or need help understanding your options, you can consult a financial counselor or trusted consumer information services that can provide guidance based on your circumstances. The earlier questions are raised, the easier they usually are to investigate. And now, what's the real lesson? Most payment disputes aren't caused by bad people. They're caused by missing information. Good documentation protects everyone. It protects customers, it helps organizations investigate more efficiently, and it removes unnecessary stress when honest mistakes happen. One of the best financial habits you can build is keeping good records. Because when everything goes smoothly, documentation feels unnecessary. But when something goes wrong, it becomes invaluable. So let me leave you with one question. If someone questioned a payment you made 2 years ago, could you prove it? I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever been asked to prove a payment, or has keeping good records ever saved you from a difficult situation? Let me know in the comments below. And that's what winning with debt and replacing fear with facts actually looks like. If this video helped you understand the topic a little better, consider giving it a like and subscribing for more practical insights about debts. Until next time, remember, winning with debt is about making smarter decisions. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.